The People's National Party has received a very stern warning in relation to the fragility of Jamaica's democracy. They have been urged to end all the divisiveness and fractiousness within their party. Leaders of the People's National Party were on Sunday present at a service at the Boulevard Baptist Church, where they recommitted to the principles and values of their movement. The pastor who delivered the sermon questioned whether senior members of the PNP were ready to commit themselves to nation building and abandon the constant battles that have caused political cleavage in the party for almost 2 years. The pastor also warned Jamaicans not to take for granted the island's democratic traditions, framing that assertion in the context of the January 6th issue in the United States that threatened the lives of hundreds of political representatives. 6 persons lost their lives in that incident, including a few to medical emergencies. The President of the United States at the time was widely blamed for stoking the issues that presented themselves. According to the pastor, some of the forces that helped to create that toxic environment in the United States were present in Jamaica as well. He also asserted that there must be separation between church and state. He said that he had noticed calls in some quarters for Jamaica to have a dictator to cure its social and political problems. He further mentioned that the PNP steps towards recommitment have come at a perfect time. This party suffered a clear defeat in the last general elections, and yet regardless of the issues that have presented themselves, in which developing nations like ours have been labeled in discourse over the last 4 years, there was no denial of the outcomes of our elections or attempts to reject the outcome with dangerous activities. At the same time, he said that the party has gone through a change of leadership, which is usually an unsettling experience and a time of adjustment for most organizations. He said that the opportunities are many, and he says that whilst many obituaries have been written concerning the party and its future, he is suggesting that the unquestionable truth of this country is that as long as this nation is governed by a 2-party democratic system, it would never be appropriate for us to commit either party to that state, whether obituaries are applicable, whether of the Jamaica Labour Party or of the People's National Party. He further went on to state that there was a need for reconciliation within the People's National Party. The PNP President, Mark Golding, has responded to that statement by saying that he was leading the charge and he would devote himself to nation building and a lot more. We are moving beyond and away from the milestones of factionalisms, internal discord, and the elevation of personal selfish ambitions above the collective interest of our great party and organization. It is another attempt by Mark Golding, who took over the leadership of the PNP in November 2020, to mend fences within the party and bring them to a united place. Golding was recently spoken out against by Norman Horn for his arrogance. Horn blamed Golding's attitude for persistent negative views of the party even after the issues had settled from the leadership win over Lisa Hanna. Golding further went on to state that they recommit themselves to what is really an existential cause for the survival and future of the People's National Party. He says that the task exists and the opportunities will be taken to ensure that they move away from those issues that would have plagued the party for the last 10 years. He says that it requires both an act of will and of faith. It is a matter of deliberate choice, choosing the path of reconnection with the people of Jamaica, choosing a path of development of a solid, progressive policy platform which tackles the deeper structural challenges. He further went on to state that the People's National Party was now a big tent where all were welcome. Well, the story is still being sung, and they are still working on uniting the People's National Party. The issues are still many, and of course, they have been injured in the past, and the damages still last, but it is for each and every member of this political organization to put aside their differences and take themselves to a place of divine healing. Of course, they need to sit together and have civil discussions and mend offenses and find solutions to all of the problems that may have arisen over the last 10 years. Of course, they have a new leader in place from November 7th, and they would have had a new chairman and a new general secretary in place from the 29th of November. However, we are still awaiting the change. We are still waiting to see them take themselves to a place where they act united. They would have made changes in regards to adding an additional senator to the upper house on the opposition side. And that even went on to cause some issues within the party, with Norman Horn putting up a standoff against Peter Bunting and Mark Golding in relation to giving up the Senate seat, making statements about being owed some monies by the political organization. Of course, that issue has died down and the party has been quiet for a while. But don't fool yourself, the issues are still present. Of course, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Let me know if you agree with the statements that have been made in response to the pastor's stern warnings about ending the divisiveness and fractiousness that belongs and exists within the People's National Party. These statements were responded to by Mark Golding recently, and of course he seems to be still on the path of renewal and causing a state of unity within the People's National Party. Thanks for watching and goodbye.